And for the first time in nearly 2 years, the Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt has reopened to limited traffic. The Israeli-held crossing is allowing a small number of Palestinians to leave the enclave and some who escaped the war to return. Rafah is also a key route for much-needed humanitarian aid. The reopening marks a crucial step in the Israel-Hamas ceasefire, which took effect October 10th. And CBC senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik is in Tel Aviv tracking all of these developments for us. He joins me now live. So, Sasha, what's the latest you're learning about the Rafah border crossing?
Well, Arthi, obviously there are a great number of Palestinians in Gaza who have wanted to get out of Gaza. This is supposedly their chance, although the numbers we are hearing, the number of people who are going to be let out are very small, and in these early days, those numbers are smaller still. We're talking about something under 150 a day once they fully ramp up of Palestinians who will be let go, will be allowed to leave Gaza, about 50 who may be allowed to get back in. Most of these are patients, people who need medical help outside Gaza, perhaps in Egypt, perhaps beyond that. And those were indeed the people who were lined up today to get out. A number of them did cross out of Gaza, but it was a complicated process with many security checks and a lot of waiting. They were brought to the border by the Red Crescent Society, and a lot of medical people are saying that this process has to speed up because there's something like 20,000 Gazans who are waiting to leave just on the basis of medical need, not to mention others who want to get out after enduring 2 years of fighting.
And now, Sasha, the second phase of the U.S. brokered ceasefire deal is even more complicated, and it's getting even more complex. It calls for a number of things, including the disarming of Hamas, which, of course, we've discussed even before the second phase was beginning. How is that expected to play out?
Well, on one hand, this opening is seen as a very positive signal, not only obviously for the people who are leaving, but for that ceasefire, for the peace process, because this was supposed to happen months ago, and finally it is being put into effect. Israel has been reluctant to move to this step, but it does mean that there is pressure from the United States and that Israel is being pushed to accept some of the conditions of this ceasefire, which they signed on to back in October. Yes, the disarming of Hamas is going to be a very big move. Israel has said it's not moving much further ahead in the ceasefire process unless that happens and until it happens. And so far, Hamas has been reluctant to do it. So that will be a big test. It could come soon. But in the meantime, a lot of people are waiting for some of these smaller signals, such as being able to leave, for instance, and for more aid to move in. That has also been something that has been sorely missed, even though, again, both sides signed on to allowing it, but it hasn't exactly worked out that way. And the second phase is still very shaky. We've seen also the airstrikes going along, which weren't supposed to be happening at all by this point. So this is still very much up in the air, even though both sides are working toward it, or at least that's what they say.
Thanks for this, Sasha. That is CBC senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik in Tel Aviv.